We hope you're doing well and enjoying some quality time at home. We've enjoyed being home together with each other. So my hope is to give you maybe about a 30 to 45 minute little stretch flow that you can add to some of the workouts that you're already doing at home, in hopes that this maybe gives you just a slight little relaxation in some of these crazy times that we're experiencing. So enjoy and take however much of this that you would like and leave the rest behind. So, all right, we're gonna come to have a seat on our mat. It does not matter how the legs are crossed, just wherever is comfortable for you, and we're gonna let those hands come to connect to the tops of the knees. We're gonna roll the shoulders up, back, and down. If it feels comfortable to soften through the eyes, then feel free to soften through the eyes. If you wanna keep the eyes open, go for it. I just want you to start to drop into your practice as we start to focus on that inhale and that exhale. Feeling that breath, lifting the crown of the head towards the ceiling and lengthening through the back of the spine as we take that inhale, and then feeling that root, that groundedness, that connection to your mat on your exhale. So there's no judgment on the length of the inhale or the exhale, but I just want you to see if you can make the movement a little more fluid. Seeing if that inhale can flow right into that exhale and the exhale coming right back into that inhale. So as we move through our practice today, I want you to let this breath be your guide. Allow it to tell you when to push forward and when to pull back. I want you to let the movements come to meet your breath instead of the other way around. So when you're ready with your next deep breath in, we're going to circle sweep those arms up overhead, allowing the palms to connect, and exhaling those hands into heart center. Taking a nice deep breath in, reaching those arms up overhead. You can let the eyes stay soft, or you can open the eyes and then the hands come down into heart center. Let's take two more here. Maybe that good gaze reaches up towards the fingertips as we lift, and the chin tucks towards the chest as we lower. Give me one more hit here. Inhaling those arms up overhead. Palms come to connect. So same thing. Inhaling those arms all the way back up overhead. We're going to let that right hand come to connect to the outside of that right hip. You can come back as we reach that left arm up overhead. So I want you to feel the shoulder relax away from the ear. Maybe we stay right here. Maybe we take that left hand to come to connect to the outside of that right knee. So we're not pushing or forcing, but we're letting the chin come towards the chest as we open up through the shoulder blades here. Nice. Then when you're ready, inhaling those arms all the way back up overhead, allowing that left hand to come to connect to the outside of that left hip as that right arm reaches up overhead. Again, you can stay right here, or you can let that right hand come to connect to the outside of that left knee. Again, chin to chest as we just open up through the upper back here. So we're going to do one more of those on each side. Inhaling those arms up overhead. Right palm comes to connect to the floor as we lift that left arm up and overhead. Again, you can stay. You can take that left hand to the top of that right knee, chin to chest as we feel the opening through the upper back. So if this feels good and you want to stay, go for it. Maybe we release that right hand off the floor, dipping that left shoulder towards the left knee as that right arm then follows suit as we reach up overhead. Again, as we open up that side body, pull the right shoulder back and relax the shoulders away from the ears. Slowly, slowly coming back up. We're going to take those arms all the way back up overhead. Left palm comes to connect to the floor right on the outside of the hip as we take that right arm up overhead. Again, you can stay right here. You can take that right hand to the top of the knee. If this felt good with the chin to the chest, you can stay right here. Maybe we lift that left hand up off the floor, dipping that right shoulder towards the right knee as that left arm reaches up overhead. Again, feel the shoulder pull back, opening up through that side body and relaxing the shoulders away from the ears. When you're ready, slowly, slowly come back down. Inhaling those arms all the way up overhead. We're going to take the hands just in front of the shins, and we're going to tip ourselves over into our tabletop position. So when we come to tabletop, we're going to let the knees track right underneath the hip bones and the hands to come right underneath the shoulders. As we move into your cat-cow, we're going to tuck chin to chest, rolling the back of the spine towards the ceiling, putting a big C curve in the back, and then starting with the sacrum or the base of the spine, we roll one vertebrae at a time down, letting the heart and the gaze come up. Again, chin tucks to chest as we roll through the back. Big C curve, relaxing the shoulders and opening up through the upper back here. And then again, tucking that tailbone and rolling one vertebrae at a time down, letting the heart and the gaze come up. Take your time, come back in to that neutral position in your tabletop. So from here, staying on the knees, we're just gonna walk the hands a couple inches forward to make space for the hips to come in line with the spine, and we're gonna tuck the toes under to make the feet nice and active. With your next exhale, we're gonna take hips back to heels, reaching the arms up overhead into a little modified child's pose, and then coming forward, drawing shoulders back over the plane of the wrists in your kneeling plank. Hips go back to heels as we reach those arms up overhead, and then coming back forward, hips in line with the spine in your kneeling plank. So you move with your breath through your range of motion. As we come forward into that kneeling plank, we're not dropping the hips. Hips stay in line with the spine. So you can stay here or at the top of that kneeling plank if you want to add that little half push-up, taking the elbows and the upper arms to sweep right past the rib cage, and then we push through the entire palm to take the hips back to the heels in your modified child's pose. So again, if you want to leave this little half push-up out, go for it. Take your time. Let's find two more here. Finish the one you're on. As we take the hips back to the heels, toes are tucked, belly pulls in and up as we pike the hips all the way to the ceiling into our downward facing dog. So in your downward facing dog, knees are nice and soft. It does not matter how far the heels reach towards the floor. I want you to lift the back of the hips, the tailbone up towards the ceiling to make some space for that chest to reach towards the tops of the thighs. From here, can we soften that left knee and push that right heel towards the floor? Slowly, slowly make your way back to center. Soften that right knee and push that left heel towards the floor. So from here, we're going to take that same flow forward and back. We're just going to stay up on the toes. So we're going to come forward, drawing shoulders over the plane of the wrists in your full plank, and then belly in and up as we pike the hips back to the ceiling into your downward facing dog. Shifting forward, shoulders come over the wrists, belly in and up. Now you can keep both hands rooted to the mat as you move through your flow forward and back, or the next time you pike the hips to the ceiling, we're going to bring hands to the left thigh, shin or foot, and then slowly come back down into that plank. Switching to the other side, left hand reaches towards that right foot, and we switch. So again, rooting through the hand that stays on the mat, feeling that opposite hand reach across the center line of the body towards the opposite thigh or foot. Totally up to you. Again, still maintaining control through the core, trying not to let the hips drop towards the floor as we shift into that plank. Take your time. Let's find one more on each side. Once you are balanced and even, we're going to take hips back to the ceiling into that downward facing dog. So from here, all I want you to do is crouch the hips back to the heels as we soften the knees and hover the knees right over the floor, and then extend through the legs in your downward facing dog. So bend the knees, hover the knees as the hips go back to the heels, and then lift all the way back up. Give me one more just like that, softening the knees, crouch the hips to the heels, and lift. This time as we crouch back, we're then going to use that momentum to step, walk, or float our feet forward to the top of the mat in our forward fold. So when we're in our forward fold, our hands connect somewhere. Maybe that's the floor, the shins, or the thighs.
As we move into our half lift, flat back, we lengthen the leg. We lift up through the chest so that the spine is parallel to the floor. The hands can either come to the thighs or the shins, and our gaze is forward of our mat. We fold back forward as we soften the knees into that forward fold. Inhale as we stand all the way up, and then exhale as we spill all the way back forward into that forward fold. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, fold. Plant the hands, step or walk to your plank position. From here, you can stay on the toes or you can lower to the knees. If you're up on the toes, we're going to shift shoulders over fingertips, and we're going to lower chest and belly all the way flat to the floor. From here, we're going to untuck the toes, lift the chest into your cobra, so we're not pushing through the palms. Use the muscles in the back. Exhale as we tuck the toes, take the hips to the ceiling into your downward facing dog. Nice. From here, again, we're going to crouch the hips back to the heels. Hover the knees, step, walk, or float your feet forward to the top of the mat in your forward fold. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Lengthen through the hamstring. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale as we reverse swan dive all the way up to stand. And exhale as we go all the way back down in that forward fold. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, fold. Plant the hands, step or walk to plank. From here, you can be on the knees or the toes. We lower chest and belly all the way flat to the floor. Untuck the toes. Push the pinky toes into the mat as we use the muscles in the back to lift into cobra. Slowly exhale as we tuck the toes. Belly in and up as the hips go back to the ceiling into your downward facing dog. Once again, we crouch the hips back to the heels, hover the knees, step, walk, or float our feet forward to the top of the mat, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale as we reverse swan dive all the way up to stand. Exhale as we go all the way back down in that forward fold. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, fold. Plant the hands, step or walk to plank. Again, knees or toes, your choice. Shift shoulders over fingertips, lower chest and belly all the way to the floor. Untuck the toes, inhale into cobra. Relax the shoulders, try not to crane the head back. Exhale, downward facing dog. One more time through. We're going to soften the knees, crouch the hips back to the heels, step, walk, or float forward to the top of the mat. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale as we reverse swan dive all the way up to stand. Exhale as we go all the way back down in that fold. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, fold. Plant the hands, step or walk into your plank position. From here, we're going to lower chest and belly all the way flat to the floor. This time, as we untuck the toes, can we take the hands a little wider than shoulder width apart? And we're going to tent the hands coming up on the fingertips. Still pushing through the feet. Use the muscles in the back to inhale into cobra. Slowly exhale, belly in and up. Again, don't push through the fingertips. Use the back as we lift into cobra. Slowly exhale. One more time. This time we're going to lift and hold. You can stay still. You can find a little movement in a shift side to side. You can dip one shoulder towards the mat and then switch to the other side. You take what feels good to you here. Again, take your time. Be even and balanced on both sides, especially if you're dipping those shoulders. Slowly make your way back to center. Hands come back underneath the shoulders. Belly pulls in and up as we tuck the toes and take the hips back to the ceiling into your downward facing dog. Taking a nice deep breath in and blowing it all away. From here, can we just shift forward back into that full plank, drawing shoulders right over the plane of the wrist, belly pulls in and up. From here, can we draw that right knee towards the chest and hold? Step back to plank. Left knee in and hold. Step back to plank. Again, right knee in and hold. Step. Now we're going to cross the center line of the body. Right knee to left elbow, hold. Step back. Left knee, right elbow, hold. Step back. Again, opposite elbow, opposite knee as we cross. Now we're gonna take same elbow, same knee. Right knee reaches to that right elbow. Step back. Left knee, left elbow. Step back. Again, right knee, right elbow. Big squeeze down the side body. Now take the hips back to the ceiling. Downward facing dog. Take a nice deep breath in. Crouching hips back to the heels. Soften the knees. Step, walk, or float forward to the top of the mat in your forward fold. Give me a little inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, fold. Stay here. Maybe we grab on to opposite elbows. Maybe we tuck the chin to the chest. Find a little sway side to side in your ragdoll. Again, opening up and relaxing through the back of the neck and the shoulders. So from here, can the hands release and come back to connect to either the floor, the shins, or the thighs? We have a nice softness in both knees, and I just want you to put a little bit bigger bend into that right knee to open up the outside of the left hip and down the left IT band. Slowly make your way back to center. Little bit bigger bend goes into that left knee as we keep that right knee soft to open up the outside of the right hip and the right IT band. Nice. Then when you're ready, slowly come back to center. Once again, little half lift, flat back. Exhale, fold, plant the hands, step or walk to your plank position. Knees or toes, your choice. Shifting shoulders over fingertips, lower chest and belly, all the way flat to the floor. Untuck the toes, use the muscles in the back to lift into cobra. Shine the heart forward. Slowly lower, tuck the toes, hips go back to the ceiling. Downward facing dog. Nice. So when you're ready, we're going to root through both hands and keep that left foot connected to the floor. Our right leg is just going to lift up into our three-legged dog. So we're not kicking the leg up to the ceiling. We're flexing the ankle and pushing the base of the foot to the wall back behind you, squaring hips and shoulders so that the outside right pinky toe faces the floor. So just like we did before, shifting into plank, this time right knee comes to that chest and we hold, core plank, push back, three-legged dog. Right knee in and hold, core plank, push back, three-legged dog. Right knee in and hold, core plank, push back. This time come all the way in, lift knee to chest, C-curve in the back without kicking back. Plant that right foot between the hands in your low lunge. Can that left knee come to connect to the floor? Toes can stay tucked or untucked. Inhale those arms up overhead into your high lunge. Relax the shoulders away here. Lift the crown of the head to the ceiling. Nice. So take that right knee over the ankle as we push forward to open up through the front of that left hip flexor. Can we grab onto that left wrist with a little tip over that right side body? Again, anytime we tip or we twist, we come over that bent knee. Slowly coming back up. Frame that right foot with the hands. Shifting the hips back, we're going to come up onto this right heel, drawing toes towards the shin, lifting up through the chest. Pull the shoulder blades back. Now, hips are not going back to the heel. We're just sinking back to open up that right hamstring. So if you need a little bit more, push the right heel forward and then sink the hips back. With each exhale, I want you to feel this outside of the right hip pull back to square the hips to the front of the mat. Nice. When you're ready, we're going to soften through that right knee. Come to plant that right foot to the floor. We're going to lift that left knee all the way up and inhale those arms up overhead into our high lunge. Once again, scissor the inner thighs together. Take that right knee over the ankle to open up that left hip flexor. You can stay right here or take that left hand to the outside of that right thigh as that right hand reaches back behind you. When you're ready, slowly make your way back to center. Reach those arms up overhead. Hinge at the hips as we come to frame that right foot in your low lunge. Belly pulls in and up as we shoot that right foot back into your three-legged dog. From here, can we bend the knee and flex the ankle? We're going to rotate open through that right hip as we take the knee to the ceiling. So still rooting through both hands. Shoulders and chest are square to the floor, and we open up through the front of that hip here as we take knee to the ceiling. Slowly come back into that three-legged dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. We're going to shift shoulders back over the wrists. Knees or toes, lower chest and belly, all the way flat to the floor. Untuck the toes. Inhale into cobra. Slowly exhale, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. We're going to do that exact same thing on the other side. So when you're ready, we're going to take that left foot and unweight into your three-legged dog. Stay square to the floor. Going right down the center line of the body. Left knee comes to the chest and we hold core plank. Push back, three-legged dog. Draw in and hold core plank. Push back, three-legged dog. Again, draw in, little C curve in the back. Push back this time. Left knee comes in and we hold. Push through the palms, little C curve in the back. Without kicking back, plant that left foot between the hands. Take that right knee all the way to the floor. Lift up through the chest as we inhale those arms into your low lunge. Again, back knee can be tucked or untucked. Feel that left knee come over the ankle. Relax the shoulders away. From here, you can stay or grab onto that right wrist with a little tip over that left side body to open up the outside of that right rib cage. Slowly make your way back to center. Hinge at the hips to frame the left foot. Again, toe can be tucked or untucked. Shift the hips back. Flex the left ankle. Toes are trying to reach up towards the shin as we push the heel forward and then sink the hips back. So chest is lifted, shoulders are pulled back. Nice flat back, and then we pull the outside of this left hip back to open up through the hamstring. Nice. 2 more deep breaths here. Then when you're ready, we can soften through that left knee. Left foot comes back to the floor. Right toes tucked to lift the right knee. Inhale those arms up overhead into your high lunge. So set the stance. Feet are hip distance apart. Scissor those inner thighs together. You can stay or take that right hand to the outside of that left thigh as that left arm reaches back. So nice and proud through the chest. Relax the shoulders away and feel the reach of those fingertips away from the shoulder. Slowly make your way back to center. Inhale those arms up overhead, hinging at the hips. Come to frame that left foot. Belly in and up, left leg shoots back, three-legged dog. Again, you can bend the knee and flex the ankle, rotating the knee to the ceiling. Again, hands root, shoulders and chest are square to the floor. Think about taking the thigh bone off of the hip joint to take that knee straight to the ceiling. Opening up through the front of that left hip flexor. Slowly come back to center. Let that left foot connect to the floor. From here, shift forward. Shoulders over wrists, belly in and up, knees or toes, lower chest and belly to the floor. Untuck the toes, lifting to cobra. Slowly exhale, downward facing dog. Nice. From here, can we soften the knees, crouch the hips back to the heels, hover the knees, step, walk, or float forward to the top of the mat, forward fold. So from here, we're going to inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, fold and stay. Maybe we grab onto opposite elbows. Maybe we find a little sway side to side in our ragdoll. So I want you to release the back of the neck and the upper back and the shoulder blades as we just find this little opening in the sides of the body as we release side to side. Again, releasing the hands. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, fold. Plant the hands. Step or walk to your plank position. Belly comes in and up as we take the hips back to the ceiling into our downward facing dog. So again, we're going to lift that right foot up off the floor, three-legged dog. Square up. This time, right knee comes to left elbow, and we hold, crossing the center line of the body. Push back, three-legged dog. Right knee, left elbow, hold. Push back, three-legged dog. Right knee, left elbow, hold. push back, three-legged dog. This time, draw that right knee to left elbow and hold. Now, taking that right leg, straightening the leg as we push it through. Now, if we stay here, square to the floor, you're gonna feel the opening through the outside of that right hip. You can stay, or you can shift and open, taking the hips to the ceiling, softening the left knee, and then pushing the hips up as we reach that left arm up and overhead. Totally up to you. Again, different stretches. This through the front of the chest and hips. If you stay square to the floor, we take it to the outer hip. When you're ready, that left hand comes back to frame. Bring that right knee back into the chest and hold right there. Now, without kicking back, take that right foot between the hands into your low lunge. I want you to feel all that weight shift forward onto that right foot, and we lift that left foot up off the floor. Can we flex the ankle and push the heel back to the wall back behind us? Maybe hands stay. Maybe hands come to the heart as we find the balance on that right leg. Hands can stay at the heart. You can reach out to the side or reach all the way up overhead in your warrior three. But relax shoulders away from ears. Gaze goes just slightly forward of the mat. Square hips and shoulders to the floor. Give me one more deep breath. Slowly take that left foot all the way back to the floor. Frame that right foot. Belly in and up as we shoot that right leg back. Three-legged dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. You can stay in your down dog or shift forward, shoulders over wrists, knees or toes. Lower chest and belly all the way to the floor. Untuck the toes. Inhale into your cobra. Slowly exhale, belly in and up as we shoot the hips to the ceiling, downward facing dog. Again, exact same thing on the other side. This time, left legs turn. We lift up with that left leg, three-legged dog. Square hips and shoulders. Now, drawing across the center line of the body, left knee comes to that right elbow and we hold. Core plank, push back, three-legged dog. Left knee, right elbow, hold. Core plank, push back. Again, left knee, right elbow, hold. Push back. This time we're going to draw in and a hold, and then you can straighten that left leg through like a little kickstand. So you can stay square to the floor with both hands to open up the outside of that left hip, or root through that left hand. Turn the hip bones to the ceiling as we soften that right knee and lift up. Either wild thing or flip the dog, whichever you prefer. Relax shoulders away. Push through the feet to lift the hips nice and high to open up through the front of the body. One more deep breath. When you're ready, slowly spin back. Let that right hand connect. Draw that left knee to the chest and hold. Push without kicking back. Let that left foot come in between the hands. Again, we're going to feel all that weight shift forward onto that left foot as we lift that right leg up. Maybe we stay hands on the floor or on blocks. Maybe we lift up, drawing hands to chest. So we flatten out, reaching crown of the head away from the base of the foot. Hands can stay at the heart. You can open up into your arrow or airplane. You can take arms up overhead to come into full warrior three. But I want you to feel the hips stay square to the floor. Doesn't matter how high the leg is lifted up. Give me one more deep breath here. Then when you're ready, we're going to shift back. Take that right foot all the way back flat to the floor. Frame the left foot with the hands belly in and up as we shoot that left foot back. Three-legged dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Again, you can stay or you can flow, shifting shoulders over wrists. We lower chest and belly all the way flat to the floor. Untuck the toes, lift into cobra. Exhale as we tuck the toes, take the hips to the ceiling, downward facing dog. Nice. One last round through. So we went down the middle and we went opposite knee to opposite elbow. Now we got to take same knee to same elbow. So squaring up, take that right foot, let it float into your three-legged dog. As we shift to plank, right knee, right elbow and hold, core plank. Push back, three-legged dog. Right knee, right elbow, hold, core plank. push back. Again, right knee, right elbow, hold, core plank, push back. This time, right knee, right elbow, hold. We're gonna set up for pigeon. So the knee stays behind the wrist, and we take that right shin bone parallel-ish to the front of your mat. We're gonna inchworm that left leg back. Let the left knee connect to the floor and the toe untucks. To start, lift up through the chest and let the hands frame the knee and the foot. You can stay right here. You can take the palms back flat to the floor. You can bring the forearms all the way down. If it is comfortable, you can release that forehead all the way down onto the arms. Either way, we're not rolling onto the outside of the hip. We're lifting up. You can even place a blanket or a pillow underneath the outside of the hip if that is more comfortable for you. So I want you to find your breath here. Can we attempt to relax something? Maybe that's the outside of that right hip. Maybe that's the shoulders or the back of the neck. Maybe that's the muscles in the face or the judgment in the mind. Take your deep breaths in and out here. And maybe we can see if we can find just a little bit more release through the outside of that right hip. Take one more deep breath here. When you're ready, we're gonna walk up onto those palms. We're gonna tuck the left toes and lift the left knee. Take the right knee up to the chest and hold. Just hold still. Pull that belly in and up, and then again, we shoot that right foot all the way back. If you want to open up the hip as a little counter stretch, one more time, take that right knee to the ceiling, then slowly come back. Three-legged dog, exhaling, downward facing dog. You can stay in your down dog or shift forward into plank. Lower chest and belly all the way flat to the floor. Untuck the toes, lift into cobra. Exhale, lower, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Again, one more time on that left side. Our left leg will lift up into that three-legged dog. We take left knee to left elbow and hold core plank. Big squeeze down that side body and lift up. Again, left knee, left elbow, hold core plank, push back. Again, flex the ankle as we push back, point as we lift. This time, we draw that left knee in and hold. We're gonna spin the shin to the front of the mat to set up for pigeon pose. Again, so knees right behind the wrist, walk the right foot back. Take the knee to the floor and untuck the toes. To set the hips, we lift up and frame knee and foot with the hands. Again, block or pillow can go underneath the hip. Palms can come to the floor. Forearms can come to release. Upper body can come all the way down flat to the floor. Totally up to you. If you have any issues in the knee, come out of it just a little so we're not putting quite as much pressure on the knee. Nice deep breath in and out here. Once again, find something to relax, whatever that might be. Let's take 2 more deep breaths here. Take your time. When you're ready, we'll just start to walk ourselves back up onto those palms. We'll tuck the right toes and lift the right knee. Drawing back to center. Take that left knee to the chest and hold. Push through the palms. Draw that knee up a little bit higher, and then you can push back into that three-legged dog. Again, if you want to open up the knee and flex the ankle, taking the knee to the ceiling, great. If not, come back to that three-legged dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. You can stay or take one last opportunity to flow as we shift forward, shoulders over wrists, lower chest and belly all the way to the floor. Untuck the toes, lift into cobra. Slowly exhale as we tuck the toes, take the hips back to the ceiling into our downward facing dog. Just like we started, can we soften that left knee and push that right heel towards the floor? Slowly, slowly come to center, soften the right knee and push that left heel towards the floor. Slowly come back to center. Let both knees come all the way down flat to the floor. Untuck the toes, push the hips back to the heels, and reach those arms up overhead into your child's pose. So you can kind of feel those fingertips inchworm away from the shoulders as the hips shift back. Now, if you're down the middle and you're happy, please stay. Maybe we lift up, walking the hands over towards the right side of your mat. That left hand can come on top of the right hand as we shift the hips back to open up that left side body. Then when you're ready, slowly lift up, walk the hands back to center. Same thing on the left. We can take hands apart or right hand on top of that left hand as we shift the hips back. Forehead can release back to the floor as we open up that right side body. Then when you're ready, slowly lift up, come back to center. We're just gonna lift the hips off the heels and come into our tabletop position here. So again, when we're in tabletop, hands are right underneath the shoulders and knees are underneath the hips. We're gonna thread the needle. So we're gonna take that right arm out to the side. We're gonna thread behind that left wrist as the left side of the face, as the right side of the face and the back of that left shoulder, right shoulder, come to connect to the floor. Man, you think I get it right now. So slowly lower down. You can keep that left hand right underneath the shoulder. If you want a little more through the front of the chest and the left shoulder, take the hand to the back of the sacrum. Or if you want a little more through the back, upper back, and the back of the left shoulder blade, take the hand connected to the floor and just reach it away from the shoulder, inchworming those fingertips away to open up through the shoulder blade. You take whatever feels good to you. Take one more deep breath here. That left hand is going to come back under the left shoulder as we push through the palm. The right hand comes out. You can stretch it straight to the side, or you can take it up towards the ceiling to open up through the front of that right shoulder. Slowly come back down. Same thing on the left. Right hand plants underneath the shoulder. Inhale that left arm out to the side. We'll thread behind that right wrist as the left side of the face and the back of the left shoulder come to connect to the floor. Again, right hand can stay. Right hand can come to the back of the sacrum to open up through the front of the chest and the front of that right shoulder. Or the right hand can stay on the floor, but reach away from the shoulder to open up a little bit more through the upper back and the back of the shoulder blade. Your choice. Let's find one more deep breath here. Then when you're ready, we'll let that right hand come back underneath the shoulder, push through the palm. Left hand can go straight out to the side, or you can take the fingertips back to the ceiling to open up through the chest. Then when you're ready, let the left hand come back underneath. We're just gonna walk the hands back to let the feet kind of kick out to the side, and we're gonna come to have a seat on our mat. So from here, we're gonna let that right knee stay in as that left leg stretches long. You wanna come on? We're going to take that right foot all the way up and over as we take the left hand and wrap around the leg, and we take that right arm back in our little twist. Can you twist the other way? No, keep your leg the way it was. Yeah, there you go. Perfect. Nice. Then when you're ready, slowly come back up. Can we just take that right leg, flex the ankle, and cross the leg over? So we're flattening out the leg, lifting up through the chest. We're just going to walk the hands forward. Maybe they come to the foot, the shin. Maybe they come the toe. Now is when you can tuck chin to chest and open up through the upper back and the back of that left leg. Keeping that right ankle flexed here. Then when you're ready, slowly lift up. We'll unwind, taking that right leg long. Left knee is gonna bend. You can keep the foot on the inside of the thigh, or you can cross over. That right arm is gonna reach around as that left arm reaches back to find your twist. So take the crown of the head to the ceiling, lengthen through the back of the spine, and then we find that little twist with each exhale.
Then when you're ready, slowly make your way back to center. We're gonna keep the leg crossed over, but we're just gonna flatten it out, flexing this right ankle, or excuse me, left ankle here. Then lift up through the chest, flat back, walks you forward. Hands can come to the foot and the knee, the shin, or the toes. Then once you come down, chin can tuck to chest to open up through that upper back. Take one more deep breath here. Then when you're ready, slowly lift up. We're just gonna unwind that left leg, bending both knees. Can you bring the base of the feet together? We've got about a foot's distance between the back of the heels and the pelvis. Hands can grab onto the ankles or the tops of the toes. Lift up through the chest and feel the shoulders pull back. And then we're just gonna hinge slightly at the hips to open up through the inner thigh and the inner hip here. So I want you to feel like you're taking the chest, the sternum, towards the toes. We'll take nose to toes in just a second, but I want you to feel the stretch through the inner thighs and hips to start. Then you can tuck chin to chest just like Lil. Take nose to toes as we open up through that upper back. Try not to come off the sits bones though. Keep the hips back here. Then when you're ready, slowly come up. You want to show them flower pose? Then when you're ready, as we move into flower pose, this is Lil's favorite pose. We're gonna keep the feet the way they are, and we're gonna take the hands and reach underneath the shin bones, like underneath the calf. We're gonna lift up through the chest, and we're gonna find our sits bones to take the weight as the feet come off the floor. Now, maybe the feet stay together, maybe the feet flex, and we open the petals of our flower. Lovely.
This is still hard.
Now, depending on the hamstrings, now, I have really tight hamstrings, but you can take peace fingers to grab onto big toes and really open the legs wide if you prefer that over flower pose. Lift up through that chest. Then when you're ready, nice job, slowly release. We're gonna take the legs and we're gonna come back to cross. Again, it does not matter which leg crosses over. We're gonna let the hands come back to connect with the knees. Can we soften the eyes once again? And from here, with your breath, I want you to exhale, chin to chest. And then as we lift up, inhale, rolling the shoulders back, maybe even a slight little back bend as that chin lifts up. Again, exhale, chin to chest. Maybe those shoulders roll over just a little. And then we inhale, lifting the chest up, chin can come up. One more time, exhaling, chin to chest. And then inhaling up. Can you stack the spine and lengthen through the back of the neck? From here, moving into eagle arms, take those arms straight out to the side. Right hand is going to cross underneath that left arm. You can grab onto the backs of the shoulders. Backs of the hands can come together, or you can swirly mix those arms into your eagle arms. From here, can you push the elbows away from the chest and take the fingertips towards the ceiling? Nice job. Find that opening through the back of the neck, upper back and shoulder blades here. Then when you're ready, slowly release, open those arms out to the side. Same thing on the other side. Crossing that left arm underneath the right, you can grab onto the backs of the shoulders. Backs of the hands can come together, or you can swirly mix those arms into eagle arms. So from here, we're gonna push the elbows away from the chest and lift the fingertips towards the ceiling. Doesn't that feel good? When you're ready, slowly unwind those arms. Open out wide. You can stay here with the thumbs to the ceiling or take the hands back behind the hips. Lift up through that chest. Once again, chin can come off to open up through the upper back. Excuse me, not upper back, front of the chest. Then when you're ready, slowly come back down. Let those hands come back to connect to the knees one last time. Exhale that chin to chest. Slowly inhale that right ear towards that right shoulder. Exhale, chin to chest. Inhale, left ear, left shoulder. Relax the shoulders away. And exhale, chin to chest. One more on each side. Inhale, right ear, right shoulder. Exhale, chin to chest. Last time, left ear, left shoulder. Exhale, chin to chest. With your next inhale, let's stack that spine, one vertebrae at a time. Lengthen through the back of the neck. Give me a nice big shoulder roll. So one last deep breath in. Circle sweep those arms up overhead. Allow the palms to connect. And on your exhale, can you draw the thumbs to the forehead for good thoughts? And exhale the thumbs to the lips for good words. And exhale the thumbs to the heart for good intentions. Thank you guys so much. If you need anything, please feel free to let us know. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we hope to see you soon.
Bye.
You say bye.